Hello everybody, welcome back to our channel. My name is Terrell.
And my name is Brandon.
And we're BNT Reacts.
And today we are checking out the Wilbur Soot ARG Explained. And this is by Red Herring. And this is our part 2.
Oh yeah, I'm definitely excited to check out this part 2. The first part was very creepy.
I liked it.
Y'all let us know that this is all just for fun. Wilbur be doing this little character for fun. So that warms things over a bit. Interested to check out the rest of this video though, and figure out what the hell else this mystery is for this ARG. So we just gonna get right into it. It's still a long video for part 2. It's about a good 20-something minutes, so make sure you get your snacks like always, and let's go.
23rd, 2019, Jack Sunset Lake uploaded a video titled The Final Wilbur Editor Video. Viewers were on the edge of their seat while seeing this title. Was it finally over? Were we finally going to figure out who Art and I Faker were and why Wilbur wants Kai fired so bad? Was it finally all going to make sense? After watching this video, we hope to know all the answers, but once again, all it brought were more questions. In this video, it opens with Wilbur staring blankly into the camera while messages from his worried friends play.
I had these chips, they're so thick. What the hell?
You've been a bit off recently.
Hey man, I'm just checking up on you.
See if you're doing
You've been
alright.
acting a bit weird lately, and I just want to make sure everything's alright.
Who eyes
give
that?
me a call if you need
I think it's
anything.
Wilbur's.
Hi Will, so
In a
I
bit.
just wanted to check up on you. I've been a bit worried about you lately, I haven't seen you in a while. I know you were kind of worried about like the thing at the O2 Arena.
Hey,
I'm sure it's
how are
fine.
you? Just
I know
checking in.
it
Just
was-
haven't
it-
heard from you in a
It's
while.
gonna be okay. Don't worry about it.
Get back to me. That's alright.
I wanted to let you know that
Bye.
I'm sorry you won't remember what happened.
Was that Turbo? That sounded like Turbo.
Will get back to me soon, and I hope you're well.
I haven't heard from you in ages, mate. Are you alright? Like, give me a call sometime if you want to hang out, mate, alright? I hope you're well, bro.
Then, after a short montage of things that had happened, we got Wilbur's final message to Jack and his viewers.
Jack, Massey Welsh sucks at life. By the time you're seeing this video, the me you know will be dead.
Oh.
I won't be dead. But the part of me who obsesses and whines and complains and creates puzzles and just doesn't quite know how to handle emotions will be dead. That's okay. That's fine. I'm tired of being cold. And right now I'm so cold. This is the most cold I think I've been. I've learned a lot over these past few months. I've learned you can't always have your way. I've learned that sometimes the people you look up to and trust the most can sort of betray you.
You talking about you?
It really got to me quite a lot. It made me very angry. Like really, like Petering, I just clung on. That did make me angry. And you know what? I understand why you feel like that and why you do that. Because you know when the money is flashing in front of your eyes, all that ad revenue, you gotta grab it. I would know. I would know as well as you. I guess we're not too different. You and I, Jack. And I feel like as much as you've taught me about myself, I've also taught you. I guess at the end of the day, I wasn't ever your editor, was I? That was never my job. My job was to show you what you could do. You've finally released stuff that isn't Minecraft videos, and they've done better than you've ever done. Ignoring one example. Your videos where you've made people edit things and you've thrown yourself out into weird environments, my email would have just been disregarded. But you decided to take a chance, and it's paid off. You're not a Minecraft YouTuber anymore, Jack. Not that there's anything wrong with that in the first place, but you're now a YouTuber who you don't rely on a tired medium to create timeless art, which is all we all want to do at the end of the day, isn't it? Even me. It's going to be difficult to say this, Jack, but I really am going to miss this. I really will miss this. Before I go, it doesn't matter to me anymore if the story is ever found out, if I've ever given solace. I feel like a wandering wretch that needs to be quelled before I can finally rest, a restless spirit. And this is my rest. This is where I die. The part of you that knows me anyway. I'll still be here. Maybe even you can become friends with the real me. But this part of me dies here. So I may as well tell you the story. The reason all this started, and the reason I've had so much issue with Kai, all begun.
Hello, no one is available to take your call. Please leave a message
The
after.
hell? Damn,
So that
everybody
was
get to the
nothing?
juicy part.
Kai, I hope you record that video for Jack soon and tell him how you've come to terms with everything. Okay? Listen, no hard feelings, alright? I just want to make sure you know that it's all water under the bridge. But if you try and take my job
Kai
again,
did something.
there will be consequences. Anyway, talk to you soon.
Damn, Kai.
There was only one clue in this entire video. One last little puzzle to solve. Coordinates. This time, not coordinates for anywhere in real life, but rather coordinates in Minecraft for Jack's Minecraft server. When located, what was found were signs that read, "Hopefully none of this gets destroyed." But I felt like this was my last attempt to talk to you before I changed back into myself. Thank you. Thank you for all you did. For the communities and the debates. The ARG is pretty simple. If you look into it, basically at the "I hope this clears things up. Adios, amigos."
What?
Well, they're like some
The
missing
sixth
parts.
sign never existed, clearly teasing us that we had never found out the story while the ARG was happening. And that was it. All the clues were given. People were expecting the pieces of the puzzle to finally fit into place, but that never
Cause y'all
happened.
missing something.
Or maybe not until now. This ARG ended almost 2 years ago, and there have been no new clues or discoveries since.
Oh, damn.
With Wilbur even saying that we have everything we need, we just need to piece it together. There were so many theories and arguments over what the story was and what it all meant.
Damn, a whole
And
table of
it's hard to say for sure.
contents.
I think
Oh my
in the
God.
process of making this video recapping the ARG, we've come up with one that actually solves it. We were expecting in this video to simply go through all the clues and end with a few different possibilities as to what the story might be. But somehow in the process of making this, we managed to come up with our own theory that might just fit the final puzzle piece. Before I get into the theory, I would like to say that this theory heavily involves mental health, and to keep in mind that this isn't the most accurate representation of mental health, and there will be links in the description that popularly represent the disorders mentioned in this theory. We want to make sure that this doesn't do any harm to the communities involved, so we want to make it clear that the only reason we are mentioning this is because we have found evidence
That's
to
good.
suggest that the overall
I like
plot
that they
directly
gave that
relates to
disclaimer.
these conditions, and that although they are using this ARG for storytelling, it's important to separate this from reality and understand that real people do suffer from these conditions and to be careful when discussing them. Now, finally, into the theory. The biggest questions while solving this ARG were, what exactly is this story? And why does Wilbur want Kai fired so badly? And who is R and I Faker? For all this to make sense, we kind of have to work backwards here and start off with who R and I Faker are. We know R Faker is an anagram for Fire Kai, but when we found out he was the son of I Faker, he became mortalized, a real person. but we've never seen RRI Faker, or at least that's what we thought. Something few theories on this ARG mentioned but failed to actually see as a big plot point is that there's a constant theme of Wilbur taking off and putting on his glasses. Not only does he take off and put on his glasses, but when he does, his entire demeanor changes. When he has his glasses on, he has a calmer, more well put together demeanor, but is also very obsessive. When he takes off his glasses, he tends to be very impulsive and almost aggressive.
We like our deadlines here. We love our deadlines, we love them. So
I never noticed that.
No, I didn't either.
End of January is a good time.
So is Wilbur playing two characters and the glasses are his costume and playing one of them? That's what I thought at first, but then I realized it just wouldn't make sense because it's not like he goes off camera and puts on the glasses and comes back a different person. He puts them on camera. So I propose our Faker, I Faker, and Wilbur are one and the same person.
That's what I was thinking.
We keep hearing about this embarrassing thing that Wilbur has done that he doesn't want people to know about. I think it's actually more traumatizing than embarrassing. I think Wilbur went through a horrible experience that traumatized him so horribly his brain dissociated from itself and made our Faker so he could forget. In other words, I think Wilbur in this ARG has dissociative identity disorder.
I was thinking
or
that, like
DID.
maybe.
For those who don't know, the definition of dissociative identity disorder is dissociative identity disorder, previously known as multiple personality disorder, is a mental disorder characterized by having at least two distinct and relatively enduring personality states. The disorder is accompanied by memory gaps beyond what can be explained by ordinary forgetfulness. Now, this isn't just a guess. There's actually a lot of proof pointing towards this, such as this clip from the video where Wilbur looks at Jack's subreddit.
They put on my reading glasses. I don't have reading glasses. I've never owned reading glasses. Oh, here they are. Do you want to join?
Wilbur looks for his reading glasses, but then states he's never had reading glasses, but just after proceeds to put them on. I think this is a direct hint that he is portraying two different personality states or alters. It also seems to be that I Faker and Wilbur are the same, so he only has two alters, Wilbur / I Faker and R Faker. This also explains why Wilbur had two different videos claiming his victory when he got the job. In one he had glasses, and the other one he didn't, because it was the two of them claiming their victories separately. Wilbur, or I Faker, seems to remember the embarrassing thing he has done, meaning R Faker was the one made to forget, and that's why he's blissfully ignorant. This is proved by the fact that whenever the embarrassing thing is mentioned, Wilbur is not wearing glasses, and when he is, he's never mentioned it. You might be wondering, how do I know it's R Faker that wears glasses, and not Wilbur? In this post, which was found to be a screenshot from the video Understanding Your New Position as King, captioned R Faker, and you aren't actually able to tell in the photo even if you turn up the brightness, but if you look at the video, he was wearing glasses in this photo, meaning that R Faker is the one who wears glasses. Also, in the video I'm Cold, Wilbur, or R Faker's victory video, he quite literally says at the beginning that he is Wilbur Soot. If you remember the image from before claiming that R Faker was the son of I Faker, this also makes sense, as by his son he means the alter created by Wilbur as a result of his trauma. They both have something in common though, and that's the obsession with getting Kai fired and being Jack's full-time editor. But they want it for different reasons. Let's start out with why R Faker wants Kai fired. We came to the conclusion that there's a good chance R Faker actually has OCD. Now there's not really much proof to back this one up, but he is the stereotypical version of someone with OCD. He's put together and he's calm. The way I actually came to this conclusion that he has OCD was from this clip.
I won't be dead, but the part of me who obsesses and whines and complains and creates puzzles and just doesn't quite know how to handle emotions will be dead.
Now I know it doesn't really seem like anything, but if you actually listen to the auditory clues he's giving here, you can see what he's doing. When he starts out with aggressively saying obsessive, and then pauses before he says creates, and then ends the sentence very monotonely with the word dead. He's literally spelling it out for us.
I I won't be dead.
I don't know about that one.
No, that's a stretch.
That's a little stretch.
And whines and complains and creates puzzles and just doesn't quite know how to handle emotions will be dead.
The reason this is important is because, and this is coming from someone with OCD, the obsessive part can be much more about than just, say, cleaning or rituals. It can also cause you to overly hyperfixate on things, which I think is what is happening here. I think our Faker is, simply put, hyperfixated on Jack and wants to get as close to him as possible, and he thinks the best way to do that is to be his editor. Although the reason Wilbur wants to get Kai fired so badly is very different and a bit more complicated. With Wilbur being aware of the traumatizing or embarrassing thing that has happened, and our Faker being unaware, he's afraid that if our Faker realizes how unhealthy his hyperfixation is and how obsessive he really is being, that he just might try to better himself mentally and end up figuring that he's an alter, and then figuring out the embarrassing thing. And it may even result in him disappearing, and Wilbur doesn't want that. If that happens, that means there's no side of him that's okay. Our Faker is Wilbur's last chance at happiness, and he doesn't want to lose that. We see this being the truth in the final video. Our Faker talks about how he will be leaving, and this is where he dies.
This is where I die. The part of you that knows me anyway. I'll still be.
Our Faker realizes his obsession and subsequently realizes he isn't mentally okay, which leads him to realize what's happening and therefore disappears, even though he doesn't want to. But that's not the only factor in Wilbur stopping his obsession with Jack. If we remember back to when Wilbur met up with Kai at the train station, we weren't ever actually able to know what they said to each other. However, if we take a look at this voicemail from Kai to Wilbur at the end of the final video...
Hello, no one is available to
Yeah,
take
he
your
said if
call.
you try to take my
Please
job
leave a
again,
message after the tone.
you gonna find out.
Hey Wilbur, it's me, Kai. I hope you record that video for Jack soon and tell him how you've come to terms with everything. Okay? Listen, no hard feelings, alright? I just want to make sure you know that it's all water under the bridge. But if you try and take my job again, there will be consequences.
Oh my gosh.
Anyway, talk to you soon.
What is going on?
I like how you just like,
Clearly, the
anyway.
video Kai is talking about in this video is this video, in which Wilbur says his goodbyes to Jack. From this and the
That's
tone
why
of
he said he
voicemail,
didn't
we
wanna
can
go.
only assume that Kai threatened Wilbur into quitting the channel. And as there was Morse code at the end of the clues, which read, "Don't let Kai tell you what I did," we can also assume that during their meeting, Wilbur let it slip the embarrassing thing that he did, and Kai used it against him in order to keep his job as editor. There's more to the story than just that, though.
Well,
Let's
but
think back to one
that's
of
a
the
little bit
things
your
that
fault. You
helped
shouldn't
Kai
let that
everything
slip.
together.
I know.
This image, which showed Elle's Lovely 3, a book written by our Faker and forward by Wilbur Soot. Knowing everything we know now, we can actually see how this comes into play. Again, Elle's Lovely 3 is a series of 3 poems Edgar Allan Poe wrote about his wife after she died. In this image, it says that it is written by our Faker and forward by Wilbur Soot, clearly meaning that this is their life story, or rather, just the part when the ARG took place. If you don't know what a forward is, it's an introduction to a book. In this case, the forward is written by Wilbur, clearly stating the beginning is before our Faker existed, and the rest is written by our Faker. Knowing all this, we are left to assume that Elle's Lovely 3 is the story, and that the 3 poems should explain the story. The first poem is actually the one Wilbur read out in one of the video clues he had left, The Raven. I think this poem represents what Wilbur is going through, as it is meant to represent mournful and never-ending remembrance. Which is what he's going through. He has to deal with a constant reminder of the embarrassing and traumatizing thing he went through. It also takes place in the bleak of December, which Wilbur is always seen mentioning the cold throughout the ARG, but our Faker isn't. I think the cold is meant to represent depression and feeling alone,
Yeah.
and I think that's really showcased in this poem.
Ah, distinctly, I remember it was upon the bleak December, and each separate dying ember wrought its ghost upon its floor.
The next poem in Elle's Lovely 3 is Annabelle Lee. The thing that stuck out the most to me in this poem was a line that said, "I was a child, she was a child, in this kingdom by the sea." Specifically the part about the kingdom by the sea. Because when we go back to our Faker's victory video titled, "Your New Position as King," he's by a body of water, claiming his kingdom. And I think that, mixed with the title, is what connects our Faker to this poem, meaning this poem is meant to represent him, which makes sense. The thing to note about this poem is its alliteration. It's the most satisfying poem out of the 3, which definitely fits our Faker's personality, hence the possibility of OCD. The last poem in the 3 is Ligia. I think this poem represents the entirety of the story. In this poem, there are many references to not being able to remember things, like the lines, In our endeavors, we recall to memory something long forgotten. We often find ourselves upon the very verge of remembrance, without being able in the end to remember. And in our efforts to bring to memory a long forgotten thing, we often find ourselves at the very edge of memory, without being able to remember at last. Which I think represents very well the fact of our faker not remembering the horrible thing that happened.
That's
but
very
Wilbur
evident. I
being
mean, it
so
says it
heavily
in the
burdened
lines.
with it.
You can't
In this
remember.
poem, the narrator falls in love with a woman, but shortly after she dies. He turns to drugs and finds a new woman who also dies. It's also about dealing with tragedy, which is what Wilbur is doing, or at least trying to do. I also interpret this as a poem about having to start over, which I think is also prominent here, because in the final video, our faker talks about how he helped Jack become more than just a Minecraft YouTuber, and that he's helped him to grow and branch out into other content.
You're not a Minecraft YouTuber anymore, Jack. Not that there's anything wrong with that in the first place, but you're now a YouTuber who doesn't... You don't rely on a tired medium to create.
I think this is also an outlet for Wilbur to make some points on starting over, and how it can be a good thing. Wilbur made an embarrassing mistake, and it took a toll on his mental health. But in the end, he was able to overcome it. He was able to move on. He was able to start over. If you watch the end of the final video, you'll see that our faker is talking to us about how the version of him that Jack knows will soon be dead. This is referencing the fact that Wilbur has finally managed to move on from his trauma, and no longer has to rely on our faker in order for him to hide from it. And to prove this, right at the end of the video, our faker literally vanishes from the video, meaning he is no longer an alter inside Wilbur's mind.
Because he had the
or
glasses
at
on when he
least
disappeared.
is working towards not being one. Jack also needed to start over. At the time this video came out, it was clear he was getting tired of making the same repetitive Minecraft videos every single day. And the editor Wilbur situation gave him the perfect chance to branch out and try something new, as Wilbur even says himself. But of course there's still things we don't know about this ARG, and that people have been trying to figure out ever since. We don't know the embarrassing thing that happened to Wilbur, or exactly what Kai said to him in order to get him to leave the channel. And Wilbur has kept a tight lip throughout the whole thing, which he talks about in an interview from a few months ago.
We don't know.
Are there any clues you can give for it? Or?
Oh, for my ARG?
Yeah, you're
Oh, yeah, they didn't figure it out. It's fine.
You want to talk
I'm not
about it?
giving any clues, I'm sorry.
Sure.
Yeah, I'm just 100% sure.
What do I have to do to get a clue?
No, don't say it like that.
Let me mute the stream for a second. Hold on.
No, I'm not telling anyone. I've literally told no one. No, literally, closest friends don't know.
That's like the best marketing strategy I've ever heard of before. You still have people chasing after this now to this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's literally because the thing is, there's no. It's like the thing is it's not like they're not missing anything. They've got all the clues. The only thing they've got left to find out was like the story that I'd written behind it, and there's still a couple things they haven't found, but they're not clues. They're like pieces of the puzzle. They're missing because they've got all the clues to find the pieces of the puzzle. It's one of those things where I can't like. I feel like I can't talk about it too much.
Maybe there's like other videos and stuff that people didn't like.
Yeah, like
find
something
or
they
like-
missed or something.
I fucked it up. I made it way too hard was the problem, and it's like to a point now where if I just give away clues, it's just more of a cop out than if I just don't say anything. Because the problem is I shouldn't have made it that hard. I shouldn't have made it that
So
hard.
you fucked it up and you don't even remember what you did at this point.
Oh no, I know what I did wrong. I know where I went. I know what I should have done.
Yeah.
But it's like too late to do that now. And I don't mean I've made it hard in like I'm so smart. Look how smart I am. I made it hard. I mean as in I just anyone could make up a really hard quiz question.
True.
Like I could say what was my mum's first pet called? That's a really hard question, but it's not hard for me to come up with. Is
Yeah,
it?
no, you're right. Yeah, you would.
So I didn't do anything smart. I just fucked up.
Wilbur's a very talented storyteller. But he admits here that even though we were given all the clues to solve the story of the ARG, the actual answer may have been simply too obscure to pick up from the evidence we were given. And that's the issue with this form of storytelling, is that because you're telling it in real time, there's no chance for second drafts. If you make a mistake in a puzzle, or you've made something too difficult, you can't exactly go back and change it easily without breaking the fourth wall and ruining the atmosphere somewhat. And honestly, even though it would be great to know exactly what the intended plot was, the fact that he refuses to give anything away and keep it a mystery is the reason why it's still interesting to look into even after 2 years later. It lets you come to your own conclusions, and even though ours probably isn't 100% correct, at least we feel like we've gotten somewhat closer to the truth and found a theory that feels like a satisfying conclusion.
Okay. Yeah. This it. You better play the
So, what now? Since this ARG took place, Wilbur has become a huge name in the Twitch and YouTube community, mainly for, ironically, his Minecraft content. And it seems like he's pretty happy with what he's doing. He still has a side of him that likes to create stories and world building in what he does. And there's even a chance he's working on a new
His
ARG
music
over
makes
on
so
his
much more
page
sense now.
involving ghost hunting. Although it's still up in the air as to whether it's even an ARG. But if you want to be involved, go follow him and maybe you'll be able to be part of his next big story. Jack has also changed up his content a lot since the ARG. It genuinely seems like he took Wilbur's help and moved away from the Minecraft videos on his main channel, which may have been
Dang, he
influenced
got a
by
lot
the
of play
views
buttons.
on
Oh
the
my
ARG
gosh.
videos, giving him confidence to work on more self-fulfilling content. And that's where everything ends, at least for now. Who knows if editor Wilbur will ever make a comeback, or if he ever really left. Okay, this might be a bit of a stretch, as none of Wilbur's other videos seem to directly relate to the ARG. But there's one line Wilbur mentioned that never seemed to make sense.
And this whole thing can come to a nice clean end with a little bow on the top. It's nice when things end with a bow on the top, isn't it, Jack?
A few months after the ARG had been concluded, Wilbur uploaded a music video titled, I Am Very Smart, and the video fits with the personality of R. Faker. So maybe it's up for you to decide whether you think this one fits in with the story. But hey, maybe everything did finish with a bow on the top.
I'm really fucking smart.
Thank you so much for making up.
Alright, so that's the end of the video. We might have cut it off too early because there's a whole minute left.
No, I think it's just like the same thing.
This was interesting. Look, I like the fact that it ended off with a mystery. Like, people still don't know what the fuck is going on, because honestly, I like that. I like that ending a lot better than like having everything solved. And it's like, well, damn, like that's it. Like, damn, this whole mystery, the whole like, I think like discovering clues and trying to figure out a mystery is like fun. Like, the journey of trying to discover it is the fun part. And then when you get to the end, you're like, oh, okay. So I like the fact that it's not ended, and I like the fact that he's like, I'm not telling nobody shit.
Yeah.
Like, you ain't getting shit from me. Like, nope, I'm not saying nothing. And I like their theory as well. Their theory made sense, but I do agree that there are still a lot of missing parts to the things, and it might have been because he messed up on some things and he didn't realize at the time he messed up. But I think, like he said, the clues are out there, so y'all keep working. Y'all the FBI, so just keep working and y'all get it. But what you think?
No, I kind of agree, and okay, so part of me is like very like happy and almost like has a lot of respect. I feel like I said this last time that like it's so creative that he can like think of this, and like he thought of everything and like knew what to do to even like lead people in the right direction. I guess I'm kind of like bummed out because I feel like it has been a long time and like no one's figured it out. So like I feel like it is just kind of like, oh, well, I hope one day I want someone to figure it out. Like, I kind of want to know, like, the ending. But I do think that it is cool that, like, it is going on for so long. So, like, so many more people can just come in and look at it and, like, find, like, try to put their take on it. And, like, it's like, so open that, like, there are a lot of different solutions, because like they said, like they even thought of a different solution for their video than like what other people thought. But I again, I said this last time, I just said that like I just think that it is so cool that he was like does this and like was able to think of this. Like I give mad props. It's so cool.
Yeah. Also, this is very it's very open-ended, like you said, and it'll be nice if he actually like does a continuation of this. Like he can pick up on it with like more clues, and like I think that'll be dope. Like if he picks up with it like 2 years later, and like
he just makes a random video,
and starts to come back, and then like it'll get people even more excited to be like, oh shit, our Faker is back. But alright, y'all, that's all for this reaction. If you like it, make sure you give it a thumbs up. Make sure you also hit the subscribe button. Go ahead and comment down below for more reaction requests. And give me more videos like this, anything we'll react to it.
And make sure to follow us on our social medias, Instagram and Twitter.
Yes, but that is all for this reaction, and we're out. Bye!